So good morning, good evening, everyone. Radhe Radhe. A very warm welcome to today's edition of Daily Wisdom from Bhagavad Gita. So let's get started. It's 9 p.m. already. So I'm going to share my screen and we will get underway. We'll get started with our opening prayers like we always do. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Guru Devo Maheshwaraha. Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Vasudeva Sutam Devam Kamsachanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Radhe Radhe, good morning, good evening, everyone. So let's get started. Today we will be taking Shloka 4.33. Plus we'll talk a little bit about the different gurus. We could not conclude that. Yesterday we had Sharad Purnima, so we'll talk a little bit about that topic as well. And I picked up another shloka, which kind of links to the shloka in a way. I'll explain that as well. So let me recite it and then you are welcome to follow along and then we'll get started. Shreyan dravyamayad yagna jnana yagya parantapa sarvam karmakhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Okay, we can take a few hands.
Go ahead, Sandhya.
Go ahead, Sandhya.
Radhe Radhe. Shriyan dravyamaya yagnam jnana yagna parantapa sarvam karma kilam partha jnane parisamapyate.
Nice, thank you. Let's take a few more hands. We have one more shloka, so we can take a few hands for that as well.
Sure. Go ahead, Rahulji.
Go ahead,
Radhe
Rahul.
Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Shreyan dravymayadekya jnanayakya parantapa sarvam karmakhilam partha jnane parisamapyate. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, thank you.
Go ahead, Riyaji.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Shreyan dravyamaya ज्ञानयज्ञ परन्तप सर्वं कर्माखिलं पार्थ ज्ञाने परिसमाप्यते.
Nice, Riyaji. Thank you.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Okay, maybe we can take one more this shloka before
Okay.
we next one.
Go ahead, Sanjay.
Radhe Radhe. Shreyam Durvyamaya Yajnam Jnana Yajna Parantapa Sarvam Karma Khilam Partha Jnane Parisampayate. Radhe Radhe.
So I'll take the remaining hands on the next one because I picked up another shloka in conjunction with this one. So in this, Lord Krishna is saying, O subduer of enemies, sacrifice performed in knowledge is superior to any mechanical material sacrifice. Sacrifice performed in knowledge. And then he says, after all, O Parth, all sacrifices of work culminate in knowledge. So we've been talking about sacrifice. What do we get from sacrifice? We get knowledge. And finally, after getting knowledge, what happens? That's why I picked up. And how do we get knowledge? Because knowledge is pretty vast, right? And it takes a lot for us to understand even the concept of doing sacrifice, or for that matter, what does it mean to surrender? How do we practice that on a day-to-day basis? So I picked up another shloka, which says it is 7.19. Like we go back and forth. So I picked up 7.19 along with it. So I'm going to recite it and then we can take the remaining hand or hands for this. Bahunam janmanam mante jnanavan mam prapadyate vasudeva sarvamiti samahatma sudurlabha. Okay, can take a few hands on this one.
Ragi ji, please go ahead.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. Bahunanam janmanamante ज्ञानवान् मा प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः.
Very nice, thank you. Let's take
Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Please go ahead, Samyukta ji.
राधे राधे
Radhe
बहु
Radhe.
जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः.
Nice, thank
राधे
you.
राधे
Radhe Radhe. Let's take the
Please go
remaining.
ahead, Dinesh ji.
Dinesh, go ahead, please.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. बहुना जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मा प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति समात्मा सुदुर्लभः. राधे राधे.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank
Let's
you, Dinesh
take,
ji.
okay, I see 3 more hands. Let's freeze the hands and then we
Sure.
can
Before taking Jyoti ji, OGC 2414 ji, please change your name to call out. I don't want to call 2414, so
Yeah, would be good if you can join in with your real name, or at least give us some kind of a reference to, if you can turn on your video, even better. But go ahead, if you can tell your name as well.
go ahead, Jyoti.
Radhe Radhe. बहुनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मा प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः. राधे राधे.
Okay, very nice.
Go ahead, Shyamji.
राधे राधे बहूनां जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मां प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति स महात्मा सुदुर्लभः. राधे राधे.
Okay, OGCG, please. Good. Yeah.
राधे राधे. राधे राधे. बहुना जन्मनामन्ते ज्ञानवान् मा प्रपद्यते वासुदेव सर्वमिति सा महात्मा सुरदुर्लभः.
Thank you. What's your good name, if we may know that?
My name is Madhu. I am attached to the Gita Parivar and I am taking the classes of Gita Parivar. So they have given me this
Okay.
OGC 414. I have joined this group and I teach the Gita there.
Thank you. Welcome to our session. So very warm welcome to you. All
I
right.
daily join your session.
It's the first time I'm seeing your name, OGC, so maybe the first time you recited as well.
Yeah, my name is Madhu. Have you remember Madhu?
Madhu Chanda ji? Or maybe Madhu ji. Okay, never mind. So let's get started. But yeah, thank you very much. So in this shloka, Lord Krishna is saying, after many words of spiritual practice, one who is endowed with knowledge surrenders unto me, knowing me to be all that is. Such a great soul is indeed very rare. Now in the previous one, it's not in continuity, but I picked this one up so that we understand what's going on. There's a bit of a link here. Through sacrifice, we get knowledge. And Any sacrifice which is performed in knowledge is superior to a mechanical sacrifice. This is what we're going to discuss. And then the sacrifices of the work, they culminate in knowledge. This is what Lord Krishna is saying. And what happens after you get, how do you get knowledge? How long it takes to get this knowledge? He's saying after many words of spiritual practice. That means you have to start imbibing this nature of sacrifice, and then one who is truly endowed with knowledge, then finally when you are situated in perfect knowledge, or you advance in knowledge, you'll understand that surrender is the thing. In order for you to proceed ahead, you have to fully surrender to God, knowing to be all that is. And then he says such a great soul is very rare. So it's not something left, right, and center everybody's doing that. We are trying, but then it's a journey. And in that journey, first we will have our knowledge, then knowledge will become wisdom. And with the spirit of sacrifice, that process can be accelerated. And as we gain wisdom, we will understand that we finally have to surrender to God only. It can take multiple lifetimes. It could be our many lifetimes. You might have been practicing spirituality and it's continuing, or it might be our first. We don't know. Nobody knows that. Of course, we might have been doing, because God preserves it for us and then facilitates that process for us lifetime after lifetime, especially if you have done Krishna Bhakti or some kind of Bhakti. So for anybody to come on this path is a matter of great fortune. So let's move on. We'll start with our Soul Soup segment. Soul Soup segment, we are on Soul Success, Happiness and Fulfillment series. So today's topic that I picked up is, are we stuck in this is one of the impediments to stay happy or be successful in life. What is that? This pernicious habit of blaming everyone but ourselves. Now here's a dart. Somebody throws a dart to hit the bullseye. It does not hit the bullseye. So then what happens? Is that person off the mark or the mark of the right spot? Now, if the person blames, where I threw the dart, the bullseye should have been there. Is that a fair demand? It's not. So it is a little bit like that only. When we look at everybody around to blame somebody for our miseries and for whatever we are thinking, as opposed to we have spoken about taking accountability for your emotions. It is a reiteration of that. And what prevents us from doing that is this pernicious habit of blaming everyone, everyone around you, because of this, that happens. So there was a guy who visited a jail. If you go to jail, right, you've seen a jailhouse, hopefully you haven't. But yeah, this is a jail. So when you ask the people who are inside the jail, if you ask the people, okay, what did you do to get here? And if you listen to them, they will say, it is not my fault. My wife betrayed me. Okay, that made that person do the sin. Second one might say, I'm innocent. They framed me. Third one might say, my business partner backstabbed me. Fourth one may say, I was poor and had no options. What is going on here? One may be genuine here. We don't know. Framing can happen in life. But this is typically a nature or a mindset that people have. And they say the biggest fault line is our fault-finding nature. Now, this might be an extreme example that we have taken, right? Jokingly, in that case of, like, if you look at it, these are the most innocent people you would imagine in the world. That's not the case. It's an extreme example of accountability, but even the slight semblance of these kind of thoughts, if patterns are there, they need to be carefully detected and weeded out of our psyche. That is the key message here. Okay, that needs to be done, because we need to change our paradigm. If that is the case, if blaming comes easy to us, that paradigm needs to be changed, especially if we are sincere about our spiritual growth. If we are not, then we can continue with that habit, right? So it's just like on being caught, there was a politician who was brought in front of the judge, and he pleaded not guilty. And he said, it's not my fault, Your Honor. It's the fault of the people who voted me into the office. right? Without their help, this crime would not have been possible. So politician is blaming the people and not himself. This is how we pass the buck on accountability as well. You know, there was a guy who visited a physician and doctor, he said, "Doctor, I am in terrible pain." The doctor said, "Where does it pain?" He said, he picked up the finger of that patient and placed it on his forehead. He said, "Is it paining here?" He said, "Of course it is paining here. It's terrible. Don't ask me that." Then he lifted the index finger and placed it on his thigh. "Is it paining here?" "Yeah." He said, "Oh, I can't even bear it here." And then he placed his finger on his stomach. "What about here?" He said, "Ouch. This is the most terrible one that I'm feeling right now." And then the doctor made the patient look at his index finger. Where was the problem? The splinter had got stuck in his finger. And the finger itself was the problem and not the rest of the body. But his aching finger, as the gauge, the body whole seemed to be burning. This is another one, right? And there's another story. You know, there was a lady, you know, he would lament every day. Every day she will wake up and say, you know, our neighbors have the worst possible hygiene in the world. Car is dirty, you know, and they never wash it. Another day she will say, look at the clothes, you know, the hanging on the outside, they are so dirty. And then they would say that can't even wash that dirt at all. And sometimes she would complain about their wall. You know, what can be messier wall than the wall that we see from our neighbors? So one beautiful morning, the old lady awoke and peeped out of her window. She was astonished to find everything clean. And then he said, "My dear husband, what happened suddenly to them to air? It looks like everything, you know, all of a sudden they have become hygienic." So the husband said, "Nothing has changed in their lifestyle, my dear." He said, "Last night before sleeping, I cleaned our window panes." So similarly, our window panes, we need to really look at those as opposed to finding faults with the world. So our mind habitually gravitates towards the defects of others and shortcomings in our surroundings. And you know, if we have made it a lifetime's pursuit, focusing on negatives, then we need to stand back and examine ourselves. That is an approach of a devotee or a spiritualist, as opposed to finding faults in the world around us. Okay. So with that, hopefully it gives some food for thought, food for the soul as well. Let's move on. So yesterday we were talking about the guru topic. Okay, I'll pick up. It's a little tangent from the topic of our discussion, but I'll get back to that. But since we could not conclude that yesterday, I'm bringing it today in our session. And if you have questions, we can have a good discussion on it. Now, Krishna has various powers. Krishna, the Param Purush and the Pati of our everybody's Pati, Jagat Pati. That's who Krishna, right? And the Karva Chauth is coming by way. So that's why I'm reminding he's Jagat Pati. So the Pati of the Pati of the Pati, everybody's Pati. So Krishna's powers, what are the Krishna's powers? Swarupa Shakti, Jiva Shakti, and Maya Shakti. I hope you are aware of it by now. If not, then I can give you a quick recap. God has three powers. His Swarupa Shakti, Parashakti or Yogamaya Shakti. Then Jiva Shakti, which is who we are. We are fragments of his Jiva Shakti. And the third one is his Maya Shakti, which is the insentient material world. That is the external energy. One of it is his tatastha or marginal or borderline energy. And the third one is this internal energy. These are the three energies of God. In fact, God has infinite energies, but these three we need to understand for now. So these are the three energies. Now let's look at the categorization of further categorization. Okay, now it's going to get interesting. So the Jiva Shakti, now the Vibhinansh, there is a Swansh aspect of God and there is a Vibhinansh aspect of God. As the name suggests, Swansh means Swa-ansh, his own entity basically. God, when God Swa-ansh means it's God only. And Vibhinansh means it's same and yet different. Okay, there is only one entity, God. Everything is his energies only. It's not like there are multiple entities. But Vibhinansh, there's a technical difference between them as well, right? So I'll talk about that. So Swansh are of God as like Narayan, Ram, Shiv. They are all Swansh. There's absolutely no difference between them. They're in the Swansh category of God. So if somebody says Vishnu is different, Shiv is different, Krishna is different, Ram is different. No, they are all the same. They are cut from exactly the same cloth. They are the Swa Ansh of God. Yes, Madhuji, you had a question?
So Ansh is bigger than Vibhansh, or Vibhansh is bigger than Swansh?
Vibhinansh, I'll talk about it. So Swansh has the Yogamaya power of, right? Vibhinansh is governed by his Yogamaya power or Swarupa Shakti. I'll get into that. You will understand it yourself. This question will get answered shortly.
Okay.
Yeah. So Swarupa Shakti, with the Swarup Shakti, there is a category called Nitya Siddh. Nitya Siddh means Nitya Siddh are the ones which are always eternally liberated. They don't have to come to Mike world, and work on themselves to become liberated from the cycle of life and death. So they are true VIPs. I don't know why, but they are called Nitya Siddh souls. They are eternally liberated. Okay, they were never under Maya, and they will never come under Maya. That is called a Nitya Siddh. So the type 1 is Nitya Siddh. And so from a guru standpoint, let me talk about the type 1. So there are a lot of spiritual masters that come, they fall into the Nitya Siddha category. They have eternally been liberated. Okay. I think this thing is acting up a little. Okay. For example, the Sarupa Shakti, the Swansh of God, like they are Nitya Siddh, like Shankaracharya, he was avatar of Shivji, then Nimbarkacharya, Madhvacharya, Ramanujacharya, avatar of Hanuman, Sudarshan Chakra, Sheshnag, Balram, Hithari Vansh was an avatar of Krishna's flute, Vishnu, Shiv, Matsya, Vaman, Buddha. They fall into Nitya Siddha category. They were never under Maya to begin with. Okay, they might be doing Leela, but they are called a Nitya Siddh. And they are Swarup Shakti Yukt. The Yogamaya power, they govern Yogamaya power of God. Okay, so they are basically the same as God, Swansh of God. Then you have Jiva Shakti. The Jiva Shaktis are governed by Swarupa Shakti. They are not the masters of Swarupa Shakti. However, Jiva Shakti, which is us, you can actually work on yourself like we are doing, work in progress, and attain God. They are called Sadhan Siddh. They are not Nitya Siddh. They are called Sadhan Siddh. That means once they were Jiva Shakti like us, and now they are eternally liberated. How? By doing their sadhana. So they are called Sadhan Siddh. But the point is they are still governed by Yogamaya Shakti. And then what else is there? Now they could be, now the saints, it's in the first category, Nitya Siddh only. The saints could be Ashtamahasakhis as well, right? I think one of the Jagat Gurus, he's considered to be the avatar of Lalita Sakhi of Radharani as well, right? That expansion of Radha, Lalita, Vishakha, like Jeev Goswami, he's considered as the one of the Ashtamahasakhis avatar when he came. So they are all Nitya Siddh category. Within Jeev Shakti, there are two categories. That's what I'm going to talk about that. Sadhan Siddh and type 2 are Sadhan Siddh, which are Swarup Shakti Yukt. They don't control. They become Swarup Shakti Yukt when they become God realized. Like, for example, if one of us perfects their surrender and becomes God realized, then they will fall into the category of Sadhan Siddh. Unless you are already Nitya Siddh and doing a Leela here, you become Sadhan Siddh at that point. And when you become Sadhan Siddh, you become Swarup Shakti Yukt at that point. Yukt means God gives his Swarup Shakti to you, but you are not a governor of that. You are still governed by it. Okay. Now let's move on. Swarup Shakti Yukt. And then there's a third category. So you understood there could be gurus who are Nitya Siddh and there could be gurus who are Sadhan Siddh. Nitya Siddh means they were eternally liberated. Sadhan Siddh means no, they were actually Jiva Shakti part of it, but then became God realized. So they became Sadhan Siddh, and now technically there is no difference. They become like God, but from a technicality standpoint, they are sadhan siddh as opposed to being a nitya siddh. Now, if you are going to ask me a question, if nitya siddh are under the sway of yoga maya, not the controllers, then the answer is yes. Even the nitya siddh aspect of it, they are also under the sway of yoga maya, not the controllers. I think it's only the anshi who are the controller of yoga maya. But Ram, Shiv that I'm talking about, they are swansh. They are not in the nitya siddh category. They are swansh of God. So those are different. And then when the nitya siddh is eternally liberated, they could take avatars. They could be ansh avatars of the swansh and all, but they are in the nitya siddh category and not the swansh category. Yes, Sandhya, you had a question?
So like, but Vishnu and Shiva are mentioned in the category of Nitya Siddha as well.
Vishnu, they are, see, when they take Ansh avatars, he basically Matsya, Vaman, Buddha, they are the Ansh avatars, like I've mentioned, right? Hanumanji, avatar of Hanumanji, Sudarshan Chakra, Sheshnag. So when the Swansh, I think there's a technicality there, when the Ansh avatar of them come, right? Like for example, Hanumanji is considered a Rudra avatar of Krishna, Shiv, Lord Shiva.
Right.
So Shiva, although he's Swansh, is a controller of Yogamaya, but when they take Ansh avatar, I think then they are under the sway of Yogamaya. So there's a bit of a technicality there, but I can clarify.
And in the Nitya Siddh category, Maharajji will also be there, right?
I'm getting to that. I've not gotten to it yet. Okay, so Nitya Siddh, I've spoken about Nitya Siddh, then I've spoken about Vibhinansh, which is Jiva Shakti. Within that, you have two categories, Sadhan Siddh, right? And basically the Sadhan Siddh, and the second category would be non-Sadhan Siddh as yet, work in progress, which is most of us. And then there is a third category of Guru also, which is called Ansh of Shri Krishna. Okay. They are also Swansh, but he's a direct Ansh of Shri Krishna himself. Now, this is extremely rare. They are called Avatari. Now, Avatari, examples are Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Hari Avatari. Shri Krishna can also take avatar as a Guru, or Radharani can also take an avatar as a Guru. Now, if you, yesterday's session, Maharaj Kripaluji Maharajji was an avatar of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he'll fall into this category. That is why it's called original Jagat Guru. Right? Now, internally, saints and God are all one after God realization. There's absolutely no difference at that point. They have all the powers. Now, but the saint is not going to reveal the full extent of that divine power. There's no way for us to know that. But let's understand this category that Sadhan said. So these are the three categories of gurus which are possible. Somebody who could have worked and realized God and now come back as a guru. Somebody who was eternally liberated and now come as a guru. And third, when God himself decides to avatari, so to say, when they commit like that. And that is the third category. So Sadhan Siddh souls keep to themselves and enjoy their divine status, whatever duration they come with this might body, and then back to divine abode. Even Sadhan Siddh, they come with a specific purpose. In fact, if you go to India and Himalayas, there might be a lot of Sadhan Siddh people, sitting there for whatever purpose they have come there for. But then they can enjoy the divine status or come back as a guru or do that. But the point is, they are beyond Maya at that point. And Nitya Siddh come with an express purpose of influencing the divine soul on the path of God realization. So if you look at all the saints, Nitya Siddh, they come typically to help people. Not typically, for the only purpose why they come to this material abode is to help people out. They are not obliged to come anymore. They are beyond life and death at that point. So these are the different categories. Now, Guru is a Guru. Guru means once somebody has realized God, then they become Yogamaya Yukt at that point. And there's no difference between them and God at this point. But if these are some more technicalities, if you want to understand, if you come to know your Gurus and Avatari, then you are extremely rare kind of a Guru you have gotten. That usually doesn't happen. And Nitya Siddh and Sadhan Siddh, anyway, we don't have a technology to know which category do they belong to. You can only speculate based on, the information that is out there, and then from the close devotees, what they talk about, what they say, and then from your guru with the kind of references you get. So this is all speculative until that point. But at least from a theory standpoint, hopefully it makes a bit of a sense. Okay, couple of hands already. Yes, go ahead.
Just quickly. So Durga Ma will be among Swansh or
Swansh. They are the original, right? Panch Shakti, even Durga Mata, Swansh. They are not any of these avataris, basically. And if Durga Mata's any further avatar comes, then it will be like Swansh avatars only. So Durga Mata is Swansh. Radha Tattva is Swansh. Sita, Lakshmi, Parvati, they are all Swansh.
but Radha Tattva won't be Ansh of Shri Krishna?
But they fall in Swansh category only, right? There's no difference between. Swansh means it's God only, basically. Swa Ansh. Swa Ansh. It's God only. It's
They are
Krishna's.
the same basically. You're saying Ansh of Krishna on the right or the Swansh on the left?
They are same basically. Yes, Yoti?
Radhe Radhe Nitin ji. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe. Go ahead, Jyoti ji.
Can you hear me now?
Yes, yes, we can hear you.
Oh, okay. So, Nitin ji, the thing is, it's really good and a lot for me. So by the time we reached Sadhan Siddh, I forgot what Swarup Shakti was. And then I start looking at the slide. There is Swarupa Shakti and there is Swarup Shakti. So I was thinking of
Okay,
is
Swarupa only typo. It's the same. Okay. No
oh,
difference.
it's the same. So okay.
Swarupa Shakti.
And yeah, and it is a lot for me. So I know that in summary, you and Sandhya ji is going to put it. But it I don't know how I can digest all of this because
You don't have to
it's
digest. You have to do Radhe Govind Govind Radhe. You don't have to digest.
okay.
By the
Okay.
time I understood Sadhan Siddh, I forgot what is Swarupa Shakti. Right? When I understood Swarupa Shakti, then there was another Swarup Shakti that came. And when I tried to understand that, I forgot who God was, right? Is that what you're saying? So you don't need to digest it. Just understand that guru can have different categories. It could be a
Okay.
God's avatar, or it could be us who might have attained God through their efforts by perfecting their surrender. Or it could be one of them who were all eternally liberated. Nitya Siddh means they were never under the sway of Maya. That's all we need to know.
Okay.
Yeah. And Rahul, we have to go easy on this one, okay? Don't make it too complicated in the quiz so that people will say we needed to understand it really well. Yes, Shyamji, go ahead.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe Nitin ji.
Yes, you worried about the quiz, yeah. Yes, Shyamji, you wanted to ask something?
Anyway, Radhe Radhe. I want to know, when people like Maharaj come on this earth, so do people know at that time they're avataris? When do we realize that people like them are somebody not common like us?
It's
Can
difficult,
we?
actually. It's very difficult to know that. It's only through the close devotees or people would get to know who are at that level, who can understand, and through the kind of pastimes that they display, then they do 1 + 1 2. When he came, now if you look at his philosophy, it was ditto carbon copy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and taking it to the another level, next level. And then of course when you even listen to his lectures and stuff like that, and then you correlate some of the events that happen leading up to what he wrote, you can say that he was not normal, right? He was pretty divine at that moment. Who can understand scriptures and talk about it with so much of confidence and assurance, and with so much of bibliography? People used to check what he's saying, this Balli, this page, this thing, and then immediately he'll quote from other, and then from other. People used to cross check it. It used to be just right. How can that happen? So then I think the word spreads around, and then you see certain things happening around, and then people make it out, but there's no way to know that, actually, truly
Is it
speaking.
some kind of leela they perform that we should not know, we cannot know, or is it?
Point is, Shyamji, point is they don't want to come here and impress people. If they show chamatkar to you and you get impressed, that's not the purpose. The purpose is to ignite the spark of love for God in you. That is their whole purpose. And if they do that, that is what they specifically come for. And that the idea is not to impress you by showing chamatkars and do left, right, and all that. That's not the idea when they come here. Their job, because that will not lead you to love God. That will make you
True.
even materialistic, right? That I want to, this is magic. And he used to say chamatkar ka namaskar. The idea is, how do they ignite that passion for God? How do they plant the seed of devotion in you for God? That is the whole idea. That is what they come here for. So that's the
So
whole
we
idea.
can never know when people like them come on this earth, like they are really godlike or avataris or ansh. We can never know that. Never ever.
So that there are symptoms.
Once they are here.
We'll talk about it in 4.34.
Okay.
What are some of the symptoms that you can utilize to, make an educated guess? We can only make an educated guess, nothing more than that. It's like you can recognize a magnet only if you have certain proportion of ferrous in you.
True.
The more ferrous you carry, iron you carry, the more attraction or pull you will feel towards them. It's like a
So
fire.
ultimately, on us, on me only, on us only. We should have that much strength, capability that we should see
So,
who. Okay, got it. Radhe Radhe.
let's see a few more hands.
Question in the chat. So Buddhism principles come from Bhagavad Gita?
No, Buddhism principles don't come from Bhagavad Gita. In fact, let's understand the Buddha avatar, why it happened. Now, Buddha came in at a time where the Vedic knowledge was being, the Brahmanvad, the Brahmans had taken control of the society. They became a go-to people to go to God. And they had taken control of the society, and the Vedic traditions were highly abused. The sacrificial rituals had become commonplace. So Vedas were like completely, misinterpreted and utilized, and Brahmanvad had really penetrated the society. So when Buddha came, he said, "Let me wipe the slate clean." So he did not refer to any scriptures at all. Okay, he said, you just work with your consciousness. Okay, that is the only truth that you carry. So and if he had said, no, by the way, Veda meant this, but actually people interpreted it like this, then it would have been true. He said, let's wipe this whole slate clean. So he just moved away from Veda itself. But Vedas are Vedas. The whole world cannot go against, the bona fide knowledge is bona fide knowledge. And Shankaracharya ji came where Buddha had left. He immediately re-established Vedas immediately after he gone. And then Madhvacharya and Nimbarkaracharya came. They brought in the other facets of the scriptural knowledge around it and Dvaitism and other things. But Buddha's teachings are not at all related to scriptures at all. That is how that was his purpose when he came. Because people were going away from spirituality and getting stuck into those kind of things in society. So if you look at it, when the guru comes, it is a function of desh, the place, the time, the people, the audience and all. If you look at Jesus, when he came, he was giving to the fishermen and people who sold him for a few nickels. So you cannot tell them the message like what Arjuna was told by Krishna. So it really depends on the audience that you are addressing. So they tailor that message. So if you look at Buddhism, most of the people who don't want to believe in God, it's a very good way for them to get into the fold of spirituality. Buddhism, you don't have to believe in God. And maybe in advanced stages you have to, like some of the branches, but then you just have to work with yourself, nothing else. So that is what Buddha did. And that was the great boon to humanity, because he brought people back into the fold who were going further away from God. And then, of course, the later on gurus came and they built on where Buddha had left and reintroduced the Vedas, the different angles of the Vedas itself. And then finally Maharaj Ji came and he reconciled everything. He said everybody was right in this way. Yes, Annapurna Ji, any other question?
We have 4 hands raised. Should we take a...
Not the oh, okay. Now, okay. Yeah, I just want to know what it means that they are under the sway of Yogamaya, not the controllers, and here governed by Swarupa Shakti. See how can you, light on it?
Yeah, I mean, it's like you have a power. The power was introduced in you, okay? But you're not the controller of that power. That power will serve you all by itself. And in the other case, you control the power. So there's a bit of a subtle difference, should not matter from a practical purpose standpoint. What I would say, if you have a guru who's a God realized guru, really doesn't matter whether he's sadhan siddh, nitya siddh, or avatari. Doesn't matter at all. Okay. Now, having said that, there is still a bit of a difference, because if you are guru, just kaksha ka guru, they say that the class from which the guru has come, that class only the disciple can reach. For example, if a guru has not explored anything beyond Vaikuntras, they cannot take you any place beyond Vaikuntras. In that case, they would say that I can take you only till this position. Now you need to go to another one. So that disciple's spiritual journey, final ultimate goal, will be capped based on what kind of guru that they had. And only a Rasik saint, if you follow a Rasik saint, he can actually train you to go to, or it's your journey. Of course, you have to follow the path. They cannot do anything for you, but then you can at least subscribe to the things that can take you to the Braj Ras. But if your guru is not from the Braj, basically, or at that level, then he doesn't have the ability to take you to the Braj Ras, because it might be capped at a Vaikuntras only, or it might be capped at Moksha only, or it might be capped at Atma Gyan only. That is where importance of guru comes. It's like your spiritual goal would be capped based on the level of the guru that you are following, and levels can vary in gurus as well, even though all might be liberated from the cycle of life and death. So that's the idea.
Samyukta ji, please go ahead.
Samyukta.
Nitin ji, do Ashtasakis come under Nitya Siddh or Sadhan Siddh?
Nitya Siddh. Ashtasakhis are Nitya Siddh. That is why the Nikunj Ras is reserved for them. No soul can reach there. They are Nitya Siddh.
Okay. In Ansh of Shri Krishna, Ansh of Shri Krishna is also Swarup Shakti Yukt. That is, they are also under the sway of Maya.
They not sway of Maya. Who said sway of Maya? They are not under the sway of Maya. They are Yoga Maya, Swarup Shakti. Swarup Shakti is not Maya. Swarup Shakti is Yoga Maya.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, let's move on to the next question then.
Me? Okay. I just wanted to say this in context of what Shyamji discussed. Like it is beyond, like what you said, it is beyond our intellectual speculation to identify, right? But with the will of Guru and God, they can choose to reveal what, like Maharaji would have chosen to reveal it to some of the individuals that he is Avatari of Chaitanya, like what he did to Swamiji also in some sense, right?
They can reveal through their choice. We cannot do that, but based on your surrender purity, they may choose to reveal themselves when you have that eligibility. That's the only way to know. We don't have means to know that at all. We can make an educated guess to begin with, but yes, they have it's well within their ability to reveal themselves if they choose to. And that too to specific souls, right? They'll not go ahead and start revealing themselves to everybody, right? Yeah. Yes, Manisha ji. I think Shweta ji had raised her hand as well. So Shweta ji, if you had a question, please.
Radhe Radhe.
Radhe Radhe.
Yeah, I'm getting confused with the Anshi himself comes, like descends as a guru and not through any of his powers.
True.
Like
True. So it's not taking any Ansha avatar or anything. He just chooses to come himself as a guru. So it said that once Radharani was sitting, right? So when she sat, there were some insects which got trampled under her. Okay. And then she lifted those insects in her hands. And she said, "Oh my God, did I hurt you?" She said, "Okay, to make up for it, let me do one thing. Let me make you get born as a human." And then she said, no. Let me not only make you a human, but also give you a guru. Then she said, no. Let me not only make you a human, give you a guru, but myself come as a guru for you. Okay. And that is how sometimes avatars happen. Okay, God, out of his causeless grace, God can choose to take an avatar himself as well at times. And that can happen too. Okay. And then, of course, the Nitya said that like the flute of Krishna, Hit Harivansh, he was an avatar of Krishna's flute. Now, the flute and all the ornaments that they wear, they are not ordinary. That is the seva of great saints. Saints take on that seva, that okay, I'll become your abhushan, I'll create that trinket sound when you will walk and stuff like that. We cannot imagine that in real life. You'll say, what kind of a boring existence would that be? It's not like that. They're all sentient and divine. So they can also take on an avatar as a guru, as a service. So some avatars are Swansh avatar, like Narayan, Ram, Shiv. Krishna also, he himself can take a Purna avatar, or he can take an Ansha avatar as well, Krishna. In fact, they say that in one kalp of Brahma, he takes a Purna avatar once. Others, he will take an Ansha avatar through Vishnu or something like that. It's a pretty complex. But sometimes he may choose to take a direct avatar as well and come as a guru. Make sense? So we don't have to worry too much about it. It's like these are technicalities. At the end of the day, if we come across a God-realized saint, that is all we care for. Now, depending upon their class means the guru had achieved God, or guru's stature, basically there, where all he can take you, that would basically determine your spiritual progress. Like, for example, if you are craving for Brajras, then you need to find a Rasik saint. But if you're craving for God realization and that is good enough for you, then any God realized saint is good enough.
Okay, so Shankaracharya ji was descent before like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji?
Yes, Shankaracharya ji came much before that. In fact, Shankaracharya ji was a Rudra, the Shiv Shankar Bhagwan's avatar. And in Padma Puran, there is a verse, Lord Krishna says to Lord Shankar, go and re-establish my message. But keep people vimukh to me. Okay, because they'll not be able to take that in. Because Buddhism had just departed. Now from Buddhism, formless, introducing formless was much easy. So he said, go and keep people vimukh to me. Because he knew that in due course of time, Madhvacharya, Nimbarkacharya, other acharyas will come and introduce the other remaining aspects of his personalities. So Shankaracharya ji came much before Chaitanya Mahaprabhu.
Okay, so when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ji was there, that time, that thing, no, jahan par they selected that Jagat Gurus, Jagat Guru Tam.
Not everybody goes for that. Even Maharaj ji did not need to go for that. But I think because the time had come, see, different people come for different purposes. Now, he needed the credentials to preach this message, because in Kali Yuga, the way people are right now, I say, first of all, why should I listen to you? Right? So he didn't have to actually. In fact, he did not even need to lecture initially. He would simply go around playing bhajan, kirtan and all that stuff. But if that was the case, people like us would have never gotten this knowledge, right? We'd have been bereft of this knowledge. So maybe to establish his credentials, that people do not put a question mark that why are you saying, why should we listen to you, and what authority do you have to tell us that, he did that. But not everybody needs that. Like, for example, if you look at Kabir Das, he didn't go for that. Then Guru Nanak Dev Ji didn't go for that. So it really depends on what purpose that guru has come for, and they know what steps they need to take to establish what they have come for. So it depends on them. They may choose to, they may not even choose to. It's not like every saint has to go through Kashi Vishwa Parishad and then get a stamp of approval from them and then preach, and then not necessarily. They may just come for a very limited purpose only. Right? For cosmic sense, if you look at it, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, just like fractions. If you look at Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he came and after that Maharaj ji came. If you look at the difference in the timeline, it's just like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu going to Golok, having a cup of coffee or tea or maybe something else, tulsi tea, and coming back. And 5,000 years have passed by, or whatever the duration has passed by, 2,000 years have passed by. It's very small fraction there. But it doesn't mean everybody has to become a Jagat Guru, not necessarily. In fact, you go to Himalayas, there'll be a lot of sadhan siddh and other people just enjoying their samadhi, the divine bliss. They don't know, they might have completed their journey, but just completing their prarabdha of this lifetime and not doing anything at all. But some come for a specific purpose, and in order to accomplish that purpose, they may choose to take a certain path. And Maharajji took that path because in Kali Yuga, in present era, in the age of reasoning and logic and people questioning everything, he thought probably it was required to get that credential. That's why he did that.
There are a couple of questions, Nitinji. One is, can you name saints who come under Swarup Shakti Yukt category, please?
Swarup Shakti Yukt categories. So all these, if you look at Nimbarkacharya, Madhvacharya, they are all Swarup Shakti, right? All the ones in red that I've highlighted, they are all Swarup Shakti Yukt only.
And the
Right.
next question is, can there be levels of liberation? Question mark. And does the Gita mention this? So does it mean that Buddha is less liberated than another saint? Kindly help me understand.
Liberation means liberation. There's no less liberation or full partial liberation, or full liberation means liberation. But with even after liberation, there are levels. Like yesterday we spoke about, there are different levels. What are the levels? The base level, Nimn Star, or the lowest level of bliss is, or the after liberation is called Brahmanand, the bliss of moksha. Okay, that's the base level. Higher than that is the bliss of the Sakar, Sagun Sakar Brahma, starting with Vaikunt. Vaikunt, where you enjoy the bliss of God in his personal form, but as a king. Higher than that, Vaikunt Ras is the Ras of Dasya Bhav, where you get the proximity of God and you can enter his room and press his feet or serve him in person. Hanumanji did that to Lord Ram, right? And even in Krishna Leela, you can see that. So that becomes higher. And higher than that is Vatsalya Bhav, where you can treat God like your kid, like Yashoda Maiya or Kaushalya Mata used to do. Higher than that is Madhurya Bhav, where you can treat him as they are all, and liberation has already happened. Let's understand these stages that I'm talking about. The liberation is a byproduct of it. You're already achieved liberation. I'm talking about the higher rasas after liberation. And then within Madhurya Bhav, beloved, also there are different categories. So it's a lot of gradation, but liberation has already happened. Now, if you want to get stuck in just the liberation thing, then people go for moksha, right? If you look at it, Bhagavad Gita ends at moksha, right? It ends at moksha. But Bhagavatam starts, he says, Kaitav Rahit Dharam. These four things are also self-seeking, including moksha. Moksha is a spiritual desire. It takes you beyond life and death. But when you give up the desire of moksha also, dharam, karam, arth and moksha, then you enter the realm of bhakti, sagun sakar bhakti, and Bhagavatam is all about that. So really depends on what you're seeking, but liberation means liberation. There's no partial liberation or 50% liberation or anything like it. It's like 0 or 1. Either you're liberated, you are beyond Maya, or you are under the Maya. There's no intermediate stage. You might be in an advanced stage of about or tipping point of liberation, but you are still under Maya. Either you are liberated or you are not. It's as simple as that. But after liberation, there are different levels you can achieve depending upon how you have approached your spirituality. Yes, Sandhya?
Go ahead, Sandhya.
Shweta ji has asked a follow-up question. As per Kripaluji Maharaj, Buddha did not accept Vedas as the ultimate holy scriptures. So we just do namaskaram to him and move on. Please clarify if I misunderstood what Maharajji explained.
True. So he said that, okay, we basically respect Buddha in that sense. But if you are not giving us references from scriptures, we have to move on, because Maharajji was preaching a higher level of knowledge. So my question to Swamiji was, in Buddhism, because there is no concept of God, how would you even attain nirvana or moksha for that matter? Was Buddha the only one because he was himself Swansh, or anybody else can? He said, for you to even attain moksha, you have to do the bhakti of Sagun Sakar finally. So the answer is pretty simple. Anything on the basis of Vedas right, would lead you to bhakti. And even in Buddhism, maybe God will bless at one stage where they will put you under a guru or open up a path where now you are, moving towards bhakti and understanding the deeper principles and become Sharanagat, and then only you even to attain moksha, you have to do bhakti finally. And that is what our scriptures are saying. But the biggest, what you call that, contribution of Buddhism or Buddha was to bring people back into the fold who are going away from spirituality. But can you attain moksha purely by following those principles without surrendering to God? The answer is no. I've asked that question to Swamiji. And even in Gyan Marg for that matter, you can at best go till Atma Gyan, but that is not Bhagavad Gyan or Brahma Gyan. In order for you to get Brahma Gyan or moksha, even in Gyan Marg, you have to do Sagun Sakar Bhakti and surrender to that. So Bhakti, there is no escape from that. You have to do that. Because otherwise, that means through Swabal, through our own means, we can conquer God or his energy, Maya energy, which is as good as defeating God. Not possible. Without his grace, not possible. And in order to get his grace, we have to surrender. And can you surrender to something that you don't believe in? How would you surrender? So you can only surrender to Sagun Sakar. You can't surrender to light. Light cannot grace. So you have to do bhakti regardless. Yes, Falguniji?
One quick question. Is there a name for Krishna and Sudam's Bhav? Is that Sakya Bhav?
Sudama is Sakha Bhav or Dasya Bhav, I think Sudama. I don't know. We'll have to ask Sudama. Did he think of Krishna as his master or as his friend? We'll have to really check with him on that. But if you ask me, I think it was more about Sakha Bhav that they had because they were childhood friends. So that feeling was probably more dominant, yeah. Because Das will not go to his, I think it was probably Sakha Bhav only. Yes, Falguniji?
Yeah, Radhe Radhe Nitinji, I have a little confusion in my mind that like the bhavs are there for devotion, right? I mean, these are the pathways, like you use the Sakha bhav or the Vatsalya bhav and so on. So then after liberation, so how does this come into the picture then? Because I had understood that the bhavs are used as pathways, are different pathways of devotion, like you use the Vatsalya bhav, or not Vatsalya, it's any Dasya bhav and so on, that I am the servant of God. But after liberation, like if once a person is God realized, not that I will be in this life, but after liberation, how does this bhav come into? After liberation, it is like you have experienced God, right? So why would you need these bhavs then?
True, but then the bliss of rendering personal service to God is much higher than the bliss of liberation itself. So when you are doing your worship, you are doing a simulation. You're running a simulation. When you become God realized, when you are liberated, then based on the kind of bhakti you have done, let's say you have done it in Dasya Bhav, you'll get an upgrade. You will get a bhav there, divine senses, divine mind, and a personal association of so simulations that you were running now would become a reality. That's what it becomes. The same simulations would become a reality. You will achieve God in that bhav only, and then you are part of his eternal pastimes. You get a chance to serve him in personal association based on the bhav that you have practiced, because you get an upgrade. You are no longer in this material body. You'll be able to experience his divine bliss and get the opportunity to serve him directly, touch him, feel him, interact with him, all that you had simulated in your mind.
Okay. So that is a simulation. Okay. Thank you, Radha Radha.
Yeah, it's like going to a space flight. NASA also trains its people, right? They run simulation and anti-gravity they would create and all those kind of simulations. So this is also a simulation, sadhan bhakti, that we are doing. Then his parashakti will start mixing with your sadhan bhakti, and those simulations will start becoming a little real in your mind. And then finally, when you become God realized, you'll get an upgrade, and then it's a real thing that is happening. But right now you have to run simulation. Just like any other thing in material world as well, right? When you do case studies, debates and all, you actually simulate that you have become an IAS officer, and this is how you will deal with situations, mock interviews and stuff like that. And finally you become IAS, you experience that. It is much bad, right, than you actually experienced in the room of simulation, but in this case it's going to be much better than what you ran in your simulations. It's just like that, really.
Another question. Is it okay to like other spiritual gurus too? Example, a sense of bliss when listening to Premanand ji and Ram Bhadracharya ji.
Yeah, I mean, from a spiritual standpoint, anything that helps you, but Ananyata is recommended, because when you start digging a well, it helps. But yeah, if the message is transparent and pretty much the same, why not? Kind of a deal, I would say. But yeah, Ananyata to Guru is recommended. Non-principal again, Nishkamta, Ananyata, Nirantarta. So have faith in your Guru. But yeah, if the message is pretty seamless, then maybe that's by design from God, who knows? So you follow your gut and instinct around that and seek guidance from your present Guru, I would say. But I hear where that question is coming from. So yeah. The message is seamless, it will strike chord with you immediately. And see how it helps your devotion. If it helps you deepen your love for Radha Krishna without diluting your sentiments for the Guru, current Guru, I think there's no harm in it.
Go ahead, Sandhya.
Another question from Shwetaji. Draupadi was born out of Radharani's shadow. What category she comes under, please?
Now, Draupadi, it's an interesting question, right? She was one of the Panch Kanyas also. In this case, was she an Ansha avatar, possibly an Ansha avatar of God? Or was she, somebody like Sita, Parvati, Kali? I don't know, I'll have to check that. She's definitely referred to as one of the Panch Kanyas, and she's probably an Ansha avatar of Shakti herself, who she was. Now, which category would she fall into? I can ask Swamiji. At least I haven't asked that question, but good question nevertheless. I'll ask it next time I meet Swamiji.
Nitinji, looks like participants are so enthusiastic asking questions.
I know. The topic today was, I didn't get into that, but it's okay. We'll get into that tomorrow.
Actually, there's one more question, sorry.
Leads to knowledge, and then after multiple lifetimes of perfecting that knowledge, you finally surrender. That was the topic. I'll continue on that tomorrow. But yes, if you have any question, maybe we can take few, and then I know it's 10 o'clock, and then we can move to our next segment, maybe a little.
Yeah. Well, the last question is, Buddha is one of the Dashavatar of Bhagavan Vishnu, ? Is it not then Sadhana Siddh and not Nitya Siddh?
He's considered as one of his, you say Dashavatars, sometimes they say 24 avatars. We teach that to kids, 24 avatars. In fact, God has had infinite avatars. But yes, if you go by this category, he's in the category of Nitya Siddh. It's like Lord Vishnu or something. He has decided to take on an avatar which was appropriate for the times. So it was not like one of the Jivatmas who had perfected God. In fact, he's at least been spoken as one of the Nitya Siddh category. I can double check that. Was he a Nitya Siddh category? I think he does belong to that, where God basically places them in accordance or whatever is appropriate for that time. So if he's a Nitya Siddh or any other category, I can double check that. But as far as I know, he was in a Nitya Siddh category only.
Yes, Nitinji, no more questions.
In fact, people who follow Buddhism they said Hinduism is very smart, right? They adopted Buddha also as one of their avatars. But the fact is, it is already mentioned in Bhagavatam, okay? It's not done after the fact. I think it was predicted even before that avatar took place. Similar to the Kalki avatar, they say, which is going to come towards the end of Kali Yuga. So he was not adopted after the fact. It was already forecasted. This avatar is going to come. Okay, any more questions? Or
Sandhya, go ahead, ma.
Is there a technical difference between these two terms, avatar and avatari?
Yeah, avatar and avatari. Yeah, avatari is typically used when God himself comes direct. And avatar is basically, I don't know, I mean, that's a good question actually. Avatari is usually referred to as a guru in this case, right? Avatari, guru means his God himself has taken on a form of a guru. And avatar is God's avatars, right? Like Matsya avatar, Shiva, that kind of a thing. But I think in context of when God is not disclosing his identity and rather has come as a guru, then it is called as an avatari at that point. But when God has come as an avatar.
Shankaracharya ji.
Which one?
Shankaracharya ji was
It is-
also an avatar of God, but he is not considered as avatari.
Because he's Nitya Siddh, he's not the Swam Shri Bhagwan himself. He's in
Like
a
he's Shiva, but yeah, I mean that anyway, I get a little bit confused, but yeah.
as a Ansh avatar of Shiv. So yeah, there might be some technicalities around it. But I get your question. I see that. Yeah. Nobody's going to ask that.
Naji?
Yes, Aparna ji.
Radhe Radhe Nitinji, this is not directly related to what we are talking now, but when I was making one slide for Bhagavad Puran, there is like, we are in the 7th Manvantar Vaivaswat, and there are like 14 Manvantars. So the Manu in each Manvantar, the names are already given. So is it like a prediction, or it just repeats every time? After 14 again, it starts from 1. How do we know the future? Like, how is it predicted for us?
Predicted for us? I mean, it's a cyclical process, right? Goes on like a cycle that
Okay.
keeps on repeating. And I think Manu, yeah, it all starts with Manu, right? Manu, Shatrupa were there. And that's our frame of reference. Does it have to be Manu always? I don't know about that. I've not asked that.
Yeah, the first one is Swayambhava Manu, and then there is Swarochisa, then Uttama, Tapasa. There is like.
There is a hierarchy for that. Yep.
Hmm.
Manu, I think he had asked God to come as his own kid, right? And then God said, Tathastu. And then he had also asked that, you should come as my kid, and I should be so much in love with you that if you leave me, that my life years will go away. Then you make me fall in love with you so much. So God said, Tathastu. And then in Treta, he came in as Dashrath, and Lord Ram came in his life. And when Lord Ram read, his life years went off. So he himself had asked for it actually as a boon. So yeah, but these things Leela has got. I mean, there are so many stories. I don't know, but Manu repeats everyone. I don't know. I can ask that. Maybe different Manus in different Manvantars. Yeah, more of an academic interest, I would say, rather than anything helpful for our devotion as such. Yes, Vinod ji, and then we'll get back to Annapurna ji.
Radhe Radhe. Nitin, I wanted to share 2 Leelas with Maharaji, and one has to do with Mehndi, and the other one has to do.
Sorry,
Can
please.
you hear me?
Yes, we can. Please go ahead.
So 2 Leelas with Maharaji. One was with Mehndi, and the other one was a song that I sung. But I don't know whether people can see this.
Yes, Om. It's Om. It's written. I can see that.
Mehndi. So in 2004, when we went for the Holy Shivir to Mangar, we were in Delhi at a mall, and a lady artist was doing Mehndi, and Minuji had her whole arm done with a very nice peacock. It was amazing. What a fantastic art! It was a whole arm was there, a nice peacock. So anyways, we went to Mangar. We were there with Maharaji in his room, and he noticed Minu's hand, and he turned it around and said he was admiring it. So while at the mall, not to be outdone, I had the lady do something on my hands too. And so Maharaji has given me love taps twice. One was this time, I had already forgotten this. But so once he saw Minu's peacock, so I turned my hands like this and I showed it to him. And there was Radhe, Radhe written on both hands.
Wow.
And so he just tapped me on this thing smilingly. So that is one thing. And the other one is, of course, a song I sing. I will share that later on. But yesterday when we were talking about, I wanted to share one more thing. the UP government has named Mangar as Kripalu Dham Mangar. So that is the official name, Kripalu Dham Mandir.
Very nice.
Mangar.
Thank you for sharing that, Will. Radhe Radhe. And good to hear about your story and the love taps that you got. So thank you for sharing that with us. And we'll hear your bhajan as well on one of the days, maybe tomorrow itself.
I had forgotten this thing, you know, until I went to Radha Kunj and lady was doing something for the Bal Mukunds. Then I said, wait a minute, do mine also. And then I don't know whether you can see, but there's a peacock feather at the top there. She did a fantastic job also.
Very
and
nice.
Then, you know, remembered all these things. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, thank you for sharing that, Vinodji. Loved it. Yes, Samji. And we'll get to Annapurna ji and then wrap it
Yeah,
up.
just before that, one quick question actually. When God or God realized souls descend, they are aware of this once in human form in the material world.
They are aware of it, of course. They always, because see, this is the very definition of God-realization is that it's like once the sun has come, you'll never be engulfed with darkness. So it's not like now they have become God realized just because they have come to do a seva for God as a guru. Now they have come in ignorance. No, they are always having that knowledge. Okay, they can hide it. They hide it. That is a different thing. But they always have that knowledge. They don't become any less basically just because they have taken on this human body. And that is the reason they are Vide. They are not under the sway of these afflictions of these bodies. And there are so many examples of Maharaj Ji, you know, his appendix burst while he was giving a lecture once. And he kept on doing that. Okay. And after 4 or 5 days, he went to the hospital. And they said, it's a miracle. You know, the poison can spread your entire body. And how come he was relaxed? And then they gave him a, what do you call that? What do you call that? Not a tranquilizer, but
Anesthesia.
Anesthesia was given to him, and while they were operating him, he was having his eyes open, and they freaked out. They said, "What's going on here?" So they said, "Okay, tell me for how long I need to sleep." They said at least 5 to 6 hours operation, and he closed his eyes. So they are beyond a lot of stuff basically. So they don't become any less just because they are in human body. There's so many such examples around it. And take on a prarabdha as well just to obey God's laws, because they're not required to take on a prarabdha, but they come with a prarabdha because they have to depart also, right? So they will do some kind of a leela, and it will seem like everything is material, you know, oh my God, this happened, but they are perfectly aware of what's happening with them. They are special.
Samji, thank you for waiting. Please go ahead.
Lord Ganesha is the part of the 5 gurus.
Panchashakti.
So he will be following the Nitya Siddh.
Panchashakti, he's, I think, Swanch only. Ganesh is also Swanch, I would imagine. I can ask. Yeah, I think he's Swanch only. Panchashakti are all Swanch, yeah.
Thank you, Radhe Radhe.
I would imagine he's Swanch only. I can double check, yeah. Not Nitya Siddh.
Annapurna ji?
Yes, you know, Ashtamaha Sakis, they are, you know, sadhan siddh. They are. Ashtamaha Sakis are.
No, they are not sadhan siddh, they are Nitya Siddh.
Oh, that's why, because both of them are in red color. That's why, you know, so all those things comes as Jiva Goswami is also Nitya Siddh then?
He's known as one of avatars of one of the Ashtama Sakis, I think Lalita or Vishakha, one of these two.
Okay. Oh, they are all Nitya Siddh people, Jiva Goswami and Ashtamaha Sakis. Okay, thank you. Got it.
How they became Nitya Siddh, it's a privilege, right? Being a Nitya Siddh. But yeah, they're Nitya Siddh. They are VIPs. We are WIPs, they are VIPs. So we are work in progress. Okay. Okay, so with that, I think we've had a pretty long session today, so we can wrap it up. Unless somebody wants to chant real quick, maybe one or two hands we can take. Two hands.
Yeah, we can take to
Two hands
Swatiji.
real quick and then wrap it up. Yeah.
Swatiji, you can go first, and Sandhya, you can go next one.
Tomorrow we'll continue on this topic. We didn't discuss the actual topic today, but tomorrow we'll cover.
Yeah, Radhe Radhe. I can take 2 minutes, not more than that. But little Guru Bhajan I wanted to take. That's
yeah, sure.
Okay. Guru Charan Kamal Balihar, Guru Par Tan Man Dhanvar, Guru Charan Dhuri Sirdhar, Guru Mahima Aparampar, Sadguru Bhajanand Kumar, Hari Bhaj Sadguru Sarkar, दो कहा तो प्राण हमार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार, गुरु मिले कृपा रिझवार, गुरु कृपा मिले सरकार, दो कृपा रूप साकार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार, गुरुपति तन सो कर प्यार, हरि निर्मल जन को यार, यह अंतर सुजन विचार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार, यह है भव सिंधु अपार, नर देह नाव अनुहार, नाविक सद्गुरु सरकार, गुरु महिमा अपरंपार, जो समझा दे श्रुति सार, उर भरा प्रेम रिझवार, सोई है सद्गुरु सरकार, गुरु सोई कृपालु सरकार, गुरु शरण कमल बलिहार, गुरु पर तन मन धनवार, गुरु चरण दूरि सिरधार, गुरु महिमा परंपार. Thank you. Radhe Radhe.
Radhe, thank you very much, Swatiji. Loved it. Very nice. By the way, there was another thing I wanted to talk. The people talk about Mata coming in some people, right? Now, if that soul is a guru who's actually become God realized, and Mata once comes will never go. Now, if Mata occasionally comes, chooses occasions and stuff like that, it could be an elevated, not elevated, maybe, I don't know what happens basically, but then they are not basically God realized or anything of that sort. And Mata or true Shakti will not choose just like that. Okay. So I don't know what happens. It happens in usually hilly areas. This concept of Mata coming in somebody and then telling stuff like that. That's a pretty interesting phenomenon. I asked it to Swamiji as well, not in detail, but they say that, if that person, it's not that person has become God realized or anything of that sort. Now, if it is a phenomena where the Devi Mata actually chooses a soul to demonstrate something or not, that is questionable in that sense, but we'll discuss more about this, right? Because Durga, Parvati and all, if they have to show something, they'll not pick up a soul, and that too temporarily. That is essentially what people say, right? Mata has come in somebody, and when Mata has come, then why Mata goes is the question. But we'll talk more about it. I'll also get some more details from Swamiji on that, but part of it is related to some places where people are superstitious, and then some people take advantage of that as well. Yes, Sandhya, go ahead.
Okay. हे नाथ अब तो ऐसी दया हो, जीवन निरर्थक जाने न पाए, ये नाम तेरे दिन रात गाऊं, गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति,
हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति देहांत काले तुम सामने हो बंशी बजाते मन को लुभाते हे ना ये नाम तेरे दिन रात गाऊं गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति ये नाम लेते देहनाथ त्यागो गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति हे कृष्ण हे यादव हे सखेति गोविंद दामोदर माधवेति. Done. Sorry for the mistakes. I forgot in between.
Very nicely, soulfully sung. Loved it, Sandhya. Very, very nice. Thank you.
You will be forgiven if you sing some other day also.
Eternal forgiveness. Okay, so I can sing maybe a couple of lines and then we'll wrap it up.
Yes, please.
Which one I forgot? Okay. मोरे मोरे मन श्री राधिका रमन निशिदिन गुण गन गाए जा मोरे मोरे मन श्री राधिका रमन निशिदिन गुण गन गाए जा छिन छिन प्रेम बढ़ाए जा पल पल प्रेम बढ़ाए जा मोरे मोरे मन श्री राधिका रमन निशिदिन गुण गन गाए जा वह जीवन क्या जीवन जिसमें जीवन धन से प्यार न हो वह प्यार श्यामा श्याम मिलन हित नित प्रति नैनन नीर बहाए जा मोरे मोरे मन श्री राधिका रमन निशिदिन गुण गन गाए जा मोरे मोरे मन श्री राधिका रमन निशिदिन गुण गन गाए जा. All right. So we had a bit of devotional segment as well. So thank you everybody again for a wonderful session and your enthusiastic participation. Tomorrow we'll talk about sacrifice leading to knowledge and then multiple lifetimes to perfect that knowledge and finally leading to surrender. So we'll continue on that discussion. So thank you again. Radhe Radhe. Good night. Good day from my side. Please fill out the feedback tracker if not already. But again, thank you very much from my side.
Nitinji, I swear, I promise, I was just thinking about devotional segment to sing Ore More Man as well as Guru Charan. Both I really wanted to sing one day and both of you sang today.
We are so sorry, but you can sing both.
No, I'm not saying that you sang.
Oh my God. So that's something, okay, it cannot be a coincidence, right, Amritamani ji? So God said you need to listen today, these two bhajans.
No, I was just like those were the first songs which I started to listen as kirtans, and I started to learn to sing. So
Both happened, yeah. Wonderful. But you can sing not tomorrow. Tomorrow we have a hard stop, right? So Wednesday.
tomorrow, some other time, definitely.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you. Good night. Good day, everybody. I'll see you tomorrow. And thank you, everybody, for turning on your videos and for your enthusiastic participations. Radhe Radhe.
Thank you all. Radhe Radhe.